The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you, and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. The word saints appears a few times, especially in the letters of St. Paul in the New Testament. The Greek word that's being translated there is hagioi. Hagioi, that's the plural of hagios, which means something holy. It's actually an adjective that when you use it in this way, hagioi, it becomes a noun, a plural noun. Holy things or holy ones. And holiness, especially in the Scriptures, is always seen, something is holy when it is set apart for a particular purpose, usually a sacred purpose, a purpose that has to do with divine worship. So that's what a holy thing is. The items in the temple, in the sanctuary of the temple, in the tabernacle, are described as being holy because they're used only for that purpose. And so to celebrate the feast of all the holy ones, all the ones who are holy, all saints, it's important, I think, for us to reflect on that. That's the basic meaning of what we're talking about, is that, something that's holy is something that's set apart. And if we look at think of your favorite saint. There's something about them that sets them apart from everybody else. Perhaps it's St. Teresa of Calcutta and her commitment to the poorest of the poor. Or St. Francis of Assisi, the troubadour, the troubadour of God. Perhaps it's St. Augustine, who becomes he has this significant conversion and becomes this intellectual giant in the Christian tradition. Whichever saint or saints we gravitate towards, something about them sets them apart from their contemporaries. And it makes them, in a certain sense, universal. St. Francis of Assisi, one of the appeals of St. Francis of Assisi is that he transcends his time. What St. Francis is trying to show the world is applicable in all times, in all places. St. Therese of Lisieux, this little woman who's in a cloister, she's basically forgotten by the world, but she transcends her time and her place. And so the saints become those who do. The holy transcends time and space, and the same is true of the holy ones. And I think it's important as we give thanks for the gift of the saints, the holy ones, not just those who are canonized officially by the church, but all the holy men and women who now behold the face of God, who see God as he is, as St. John promises in his letter. It's important, I think, to recognize that holiness, or rather that, this idea of called to be a saint, to be one who is holy, one who is set apart, is both a descriptive reality. So it's a description we see especially in the readings today, but it's also what we might say proscriptive, namely like instructional. So it's both it both describes what we're called to be, who we're called to be. Especially we see that so beautifully captured in the Beatitudes in the Gospel, but also it describes not just what it looks like to be a saint, but how to get there. how to cooperate with God's grace in such a way that we too become holy. We become a holy one. We become a saint. We see both a description. These are what saints look like. And again, think of your favorite saint. In some way, shape, or form, they all fulfill those descriptions. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the clean of heart. Blessed are the peacemakers, those who mourn, the meek, those who are hungering and thirsting for righteousness. It both describes what a saint looks like, but it also gives us who are striving for holiness, us who are striving to be set apart, to live our identity as sons and daughters of the Father, which means to be set apart. We're striving to do that. And so that becomes a guide, an instruction manual for how to get there. We should be looking for opportunities, the ways that God is calling forth from us: purity of heart, poverty of spirit, calling us forth to be peacemakers, calling us to have the proper perspective when it comes to the bad things that come our way, calling us to hunger and thirst for righteousness. Almost we do more than food, physical food and drink. It's so critical to us that people are treated fairly, that it's almost like we need it, like we need food or drink or air, the air we breathe. That's what it looks like to be a saint, but it's also what we ourselves are called to do and to be. We cooperate. It is ultimately the grace of God that makes a thing holy. It is the action of God that makes a holy one, that makes a saint. But our cooperation is part of that package, part of that formula. To make a saint, liberally add, God's grace, but a necessary ingredient is our own response, our own acceptance of that invitation from God. Both things are necessary to make a holy one, to make a saint. And so as we celebrate this day, as we give thanks to God for the gifts of the holy men and women of ages past, who are even now before the face of God praying for us, we are reminded of our own responsibility to be saints, our own responsibility to respond, to receive the grace of God, so that we too can fulfill. When people look at us, they say, yes, there is one who is meek. Yes, there is one who is a peacemaker. Yes, there is the one who has the proper perspective when bad things come their way. Yes, there is one who seeks righteousness, the good of themselves and others, almost as if they were seeking their daily nourishment, the air they breathe. That's how important it is. Blessed are those who are not addicted, not attached to the things of this world. If we have them, great. If not, that's okay too. Because we have the proper perspective. We have the proper outlook on life. That's what it means to be set apart. That's what it means to be a holy one. That's what it means to be a saint. How is the Lord inviting you, inviting me, in the concreteness of our own circumstances, our own lives, here, now, today, to be poor in spirit, to mourn in the proper sense, to hunger and thirst for righteousness almost more than we do for food or drink, to be a peacemaker, to be meek. How is the Lord inviting us to be a holy one? How is the Lord seeking to make us a saint?